The archetype that I see so often in movement artists is the 29-year-old female who's chasing fluidity by spending years and years stretching and then never finding it. She's super capable. She has an Instagram full of beautiful, stunning poses and tricks. But when it comes to dance and freestyle, she starts to overthink and get in her head. What do I do with my hands? When should I make eye contact? Why does this feel so uncomfortable? How do I stop feeling so self-conscious? She looks at other dancers who have a fluidity and ease about the way they move and this comfort in their body and their sexiness. And it seems like something that just can't be taught. So she tries to be sexy and fluid by learning more tricks, stretching more, learning more choreo. But the body is not the problem. She's disconnected from her sensuality. Learning the splits, learning more tricks, learning choreo cannot replace what sensual truth can give her. Hi, I'm Mimi, and I was the girl that I just described. I never thought I would be sexy, and with no dance or movement background, I had hips made of steel. And I can tell you firsthand that all the problems that you think you have, these Tin Man hips and Tin Man motions that have none of the fluidity and ease that you see other people have, all the awkwardness and self-consciousness that comes from trying to be sexy, can all be solved by learning the tools of sensuality. Sensuality is all about learning how your body parts move together so you can have that fluidity and ease of movement that you see others have without having to train flexibility for years and years. Sensuality is also sexiness that comes from being so in tune with your body that you don't even have to try being sexy. And just so you know what I'm talking about, here's a video of what I used to be like and what I am now. Learning sensuality is not just about leveling up your dance. It will ripple into every area of your life. If you want to become that woman that walks into a room and has all heads turned to look at her, simply because of the way she carries herself, then you've come to the right place. The two types of people that Unveiled is for is a pole dancer, dancer, or movement artist who feels like they have a body that moves without their consent. I said hip circles, god damn it, and that is not what I'm getting. And the second is for people who are tired of trying to be sexy and just feeling awkward and self-conscious. So if you are one of those people, here's how we can work together and what's inside Unveiled. So the first part of Unveiled will be all about deepening the sensations that we feel. Because most of us think that we just have our 5 sensations, there is actually so much more to discover. Next, we'll start to build our mind-body connection so that we can start to work with our body instead of against it. What tends to happen is when we try to force our body to do things, we get that stiff, jerky movement and it won't lead to fluidity. Then we will rewire our brain to work through all the habits that are no longer serving us and see our body for the first time. We're usually so hung up on what we can't do and we're comparing ourselves to others that we actually can't see what we can do better than other people. And this is where I'll help you discover that. After that, we'll go into exploring the internal and external experience, which is important for distinctions like sexy and sensual. Because people try to chase sexy and that causes them to think they are not sexy because they're trying to force something that's unnatural to them. Then we'll begin to start to find our own authentic style. And this chapter is all about going from planning and controlling to being in a state of receiving and being. And this is where you'll learn to be on beat and have musicality without having to try. And finally, and this is my favorite chapter, we'll take sensuality to the next level, which is where we can use it to connect with others. How this program will work is you'll go through the video course and then we'll have live sessions twice a week where I will personally help you with all the questions that you might have and how to integrate the things you learn into either your movement practice or into your life. In terms of scheduling for the live sessions, I will schedule them so that the most people can attend as possible. I will mix up the live sessions throughout the course to make sure everyone has a chance to attend at least a few live sessions throughout the whole program. If you have a question and you're not able to join a live session right away, then I do have an all questions answered policy. So you'll be able to submit your question and I'll answer it live. If this sounds good and it's exactly what you need to feel at home in your sensuality, then enroll in the link below. Obviously, this is not a cheap program and it's because the information in here is so valuable. Everything you're going to learn in Unveiled has changed my life. And we only have one life to make the most of, and that is priceless. If you need to see more proof, we have Krista here who was able to feel while she was dancing for the first time after going through Unveiled. And then we have Rachel here, who was able to feel sexy for the first time dancing. And then we have this transformation from Emily, who used to be your classic tricks girl, who would never actually take a dance class, and at the end of the class freestyle would always leave early. Now, dance is her bread and butter, and she's actually more in tune with her dance self than she is with her trick self. And finally, we have Peaches, who was so self-conscious about how stiff she was and her lack of flexibility that she felt like she could never achieve fluid, flowy movement, to now being able to tap into that part of her body and have that ease of movement that she's always wanted without having to train flexibility for years and years and years. That's it, y'all. I hope I'll see you inside.